Okay, welcome to our GSA video ranking training, video number 7. We just went over the keywords and the search engines that we're going to use for the campaign. Back here under data and keywords and under options in the second subheading down, how to get target URLs in the keyword section. So now we're going to go down even further. We're going to skip the top part for now. We'll come back to it later. We're going to go over filters and other settings down here to continue to filter out sites that we don't want links from, because the internet's full of bad neighborhoods and spam sites, and we just don't want to have those types of links in our campaign normally. So you'll notice down here under filter URLs, we can check this box and it's going to skip sites and ignore sites that have more than a certain number of outbound links. This is important. I'm sure you've all seen a blog page with like 300 comments, and do you really want to be your link number 301 or some spam farm or some other really spammy type page? So if we want to control the links we're getting from that don't have too many outbound links on the page, then we just check the box. I like the setting of 50. For some it's 20, for some it's 100. Feel free to set it wherever your comfort zone or your expertise tells you is right. If we want a specialty setting to just limit, so we're only getting high PR or PR links back to us within a certain zone, we can check this box. You notice it says skip sites with a PR below. For instance, so if we set this at 2, it's not going to give us any links with PR1 or below or PR0, but it's going to give us PR2 links and above, 2 through. And you notice it's got a checkbox here for the upper end, so and with the PR above 6. So be careful about this second one. It's easy to misunderstand, but if you check this second box, you're not going to get any links with PR above that level. So in most cases, you're probably just going to want to use the first one. This would be something for a specialty campaign. Say you had a client that's coming to you, has tons of links, but they just don't have any juice. They're just low quality, not really very helpful for moving a listing. But he's got a lot of them, and you just want to supplement his tons of links with some high-powered links sprinkled in. Then you could just check this box and get him only high PR links. But for a normal campaign, it's not normal or natural just to have high PR links only. So for this campaign, it's not appropriate. So we're going to uncheck the box. But I'm sure you can think of all kinds of ways to experiment with this, and in circumstances and campaigns where you want a little bit more juice, and that's what that's for. If you check that, now it's got a box here that's asking, well, that PR, where should it be? It could be on a subdomain, in the case of like a Weebly or some other Web 2.0 property, or the PR of the page, right? But it's going to be very difficult to find PR on a page, because most places you just set up a new page and they start with no PR. So you notice it just gave a warning saying, well, there's going to be very little available. Are you sure you want to do that? And then here's the use PR of the main domain, the front page of the site. So probably most of the cases you're going to want to use this. And then there's going to be certain times where GSA is not going to be able to identify what the PR is. So this here makes it complete by saying, well, if you can't figure out the PR, skip it anyway, because I only want high PR links. So that would be a complete set of settings under these 2 different checkboxes if you wanted to have PR above a certain level from the main domain. And again, you have the options here from a subdomain or the PR of the page, which rightly so says that you'll get a very low number of links, because that's difficult to find. Okay, so in this campaign we're setting up for the Facebook, though, we really want to blast it, so we're going to turn that off because it's not appropriate. Now you'll notice here in this setting we've got a box of basically every kind of links that we have in GSA, they're listed over here too for another reason, but this is kind of a master on and off. It says type of backlinks to create. So, if we uncheck it, GSA, is trying to say that forum links are kind of spammy, and it just wants to make sure you want to add those. Some people like them, and some people don't. If you agree with GSA, and you don't ever want forum links, then here's the place to uncheck them so you don't ever get them. But the other thing you need to be aware of is that GSA has to do constant updates because it deals with hundreds and hundreds of kinds of sites, and every time they change anything, GSA has to change to just so it can create the link there. So you'll get probably an update practically every day from GSA, and when it updates anything pertaining to a particular kind of site, often it'll uncheck the box in here. So you might want to check in here from time to time, make sure there isn't any box that's become recently unchecked. So it's kind of the master on and off. If you don't want anything at all from that type of site, here's the place to uncheck it. We've got some other settings here. The last time it did an update, the words disappeared here, but this is if, and you can just mouse over to see if you only want follow links, right? I like to use this one because avoid posting sites with just no domain name and just an IP address, and I think you've seen those kind of sites. They're pretty spammy usually, so I like to avoid them. If you want to avoid posting the subdomain sites, you could check this, but I mean subdomains are hot right now, so it's not likely you're going to want to use that in most cases. And then if there's at least, you want to make sure there's at least one of your keywords present on the site before it chooses it. If that's one of your filters, then you would check this box. Or it says a lot of sites are going to get skipped if you do that. Are you sure you want to do it anyway? So you can set this so at least one or any number you set here, keywords of your keyword list have to actually be on the site before it actually uses it. If you really want tightly knit sites, you can experiment with that. The next subheading here is for porn and sites like that. If you check this and a word that appears on the site is in this list, it'll skip over the site, right? You have full control over the words in here, so you can either uncheck them individually, or you can add to the list or edit the list. Import your own list, right? So if there's a certain kind of sites you don't want, or certain, you could put the word in here, and if it finds that word on the site, it's going to skip over it. So it's a pretty important filter. Now, GSA is going to go out and make a lot of links every day, and there's, eventually, possibly going to be a case where, you put some links on somebody's site, and they're going to be so upset they're going to track you back down and contact you and have some not so nice things to say. If that's the case, then you could just check this box and just skip their URL and any time in the future in this campaign. If you're running multiple campaigns for in that niche, that might involve that person, you want to make sure you do the same thing for the other ones. This could be the case that maybe you're running campaigns in a niche, and maybe your site's in a niche. You maybe don't want links made on your site, and so you can skip that, or any other competitor that you want to make sure you stay friendly with or don't upset, or any other circumstances where you want to skip a certain site. You could put it in here. If you want to skip a certain country, you can just check the box here. Skip sites from the following countries. And then, check the country, and you won't get any links from that country. But it says here, a little warning: detection could fail. If it's not possible to find out what country it was from, it could put a link on that country anyway, but it'll stop most of them, most likely. That's not very useful in most campaigns now, but I mean, for a specialty thing, that may come in handy, and who knows in the future what our needs will be. If you ever need the setting, it's here to use. So those are some general filter settings to, again, fine-tune and eliminate links from certain sites that we don't want links from, bad neighborhoods, sites that, Google, isn't going to isn't going to think favorably upon us if we have links coming from that neighborhood. Maybe they won't add authority to us, or they'll identify with us with things that will detract from our authority. So these filters are important for campaigns on an ongoing basis and to protect clients and our own businesses. So and again, over time, Google does change its parameters significantly. We all know that. So even if something's in here that we may not want to use now, it could be very important later. So just bear in mind that they're all available.